Hello, friends. It's Sheila. Welcome to my third episode of my breast cancer testimony. In this series, I am sharing with you how my faith over the years got me to the point that I was able to survive breast cancer. In 2020, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had a lumpectomy on my right breast. Let's hear from today's collaboration. One of the things I've always shared with you all is I have a great love for wearing sports bras. Ever since I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2020, sports bras have just been my thing to wear. They're much more comfortable for me. I can't handle the metal clips in the back. Know that I can do a front closure bra. Sports bras just really feel great for me. It's one of the things that my doctor recommended for me to wear while I was having my treatment, as well as when I was going through radiation. Since then, I've just pretty much tried to align myself with some of the best sports bras that I can find. That takes me to the sports bra that I'm wearing right now. One of you reached out to me a few weeks ago and asked me if they could send me a couple of bras. And of course I said yes. Today I'm currently wearing the black one. I have it underneath. I'm wearing all black, as you can see. I have it on underneath the black top, and I wanted to show you just what it looks like when you are wearing it underneath something. I do love the fit of this one. It just holds everything so tight, and it just feels very, very comfortable. I'm really, really loving this sports bra. They sent me this in black. They also sent me a brown one. WANAYOU is a popular sports brand that comes from the love of life and the pursuit of healthy and energetic lifestyle. That's me in a nutshell. Thanks, WANAYOU, for sending me these two amazing sports bras. These padded, strappy sports bras are made of 90% nylon and 10% spandex. The fabric is smooth and soft with good coverage. I do have the pads in right now just to show you what it looks like with the pads. The pads are removable for those of you like me who prefer not to have the pads in them. The strappy, versatile sports bras are made for yoga, Pilates, walking, dancing, wearing just as a cute fashion tank top, or like me, you can wear it underneath a shirt. I do encourage you to visit my link, whether you are a person that is going through breast cancer, bouncing back for breast cancer, or just a person that's looking for the perfect sports bra for yourself. You can find my link located in the description bar. Thank you in advance, as I do make a small commission from every purchase using my link. Now let's get back to the video. And yes, again, I am sitting here with tore up nails. I think it's the timing of when I do my videos. If you know, you know. I paint my nails once a week, and I typically go in midweek, touch them up. But lately, I've just not been able to find the time. As you can tell, I am recording in the evening. And if you keep hearing a clicking sound like that, I'm trying not to move, but my chair needs to be oiled. It makes this ticking noise every time I move, and I am a mover. I talk with my hands and I move a lot, so bear with me as we get through it. For tonight's beverage, I am drinking out of my Simple Modern mug. I have it filled with water. I tend to drink a lot of water right before bed, which is probably not a good idea, but that is one of the things that going through breast cancer, ironically, when I was going through it, it was very hard for me to drink water. And after breast cancer, I find myself just loving water. It's so ironic because when I needed it the most, not that I don't need it now, but when I needed it the most, it took a lot for me to just get through 16 ounces of water. And now I drink 40 ounces like it's nothing. Let's get into this third episode. In episode 2, I shared me going through a temp agency and working a few temp jobs. That ended off with me getting an opportunity to work as a temp job at a university. For me, working at a university almost seemed like something that was totally impossible. I am not anti-college. I am pro making the choice that's best for you. What does that mean? I spent most of my life knowing or feeling like I was never going to be the college material. In all honesty, I always, as a little girl, would say, I want to grow up to be a wife and a mother. Every once in a while, I have this dream about me working in New York in some tall, high-rise building. But I think that was just when I went through a phase of New York, New York, New York. But my heart of all hearts, I wanted to be a mother and a wife. college was not a priority for me. I graduated from high school. I did make the decision that I did not want to go to college. That upset a lot of people. Over the years, unfortunately, I ran into many people that judged me because I didn't go to college. I ran into people that inadvertently thought that I wasn't as smart as they were because I didn't go to college. I developed somewhat of a little bit of a love hate relationship for people that were in college. Going into the university was definitely something that really, really made me think, okay, God, what are you doing to me now? Because all of these steps that I'm telling you about, for every step, I questioned, God, what is happening to me? I am changing my life completely. Everything that I believed in, worked so hard for, I'm walking away from. I'm picking up this new life. I like it, I think, but I don't know if I understand it. When I walk through those doors, I have to say, even though I didn't know it, at that very moment, my life had changed dramatically. Lady that I interviewed with was absolutely amazing. She was a wonderful young lady and we clicked right away. I was now employed through the temp agency, but working for the university. I worked in a dorm that was an apartment building that had been converted to dorm living for juniors and seniors. And I would go to lunch. I felt like I was on top of the world because I would go sit by the pool. I could overlook downtown San Antonio. At that moment, I felt like I have the best job ever. And I can remember sitting up there sometimes having lunch and I would just thank God for this opportunity. But as I would thank God for the opportunity, I would often say, I'm so confused. I'm so confused because I do feel happy. I do feel like this is a wonderful place to be, but I'm very confused, God, because I don't know why I'm here. I'm at a university. I don't even know if I believe in people being in a university. That being said, I had a conversation with a gentleman that I work with one day, and we got into the conversation about going to college and what it really meant. And I voiced my opinion, but of course I did it politely. Never once did I wonder who it was that I was talking to. Later on, I found out that one of the gentlemen that I worked side by side every day was the dean of students' son. Working that close to the dean of students' son and me making comments that I made, I'm sure he probably thought, wow, we got us a good one here. But honestly, he looked at me and he said, I do appreciate your honesty and I do understand where you're coming from. And I will tell you that having that voice of reason coming from me made a big difference because I was working with people that were college educated. And not to say that they didn't know what they were doing, because obviously they did. There was enough room in that building for all of us. Meaning, my brain worked in a different way than theirs did. And I was able to bring them into certain things that they never had thought of. I redid a lot of stuff within their system, their key system. And I worked on a lot of things for them that I don't know that they would have been able to accomplish because they were looking at things in a much higher level and that their brains were just operating differently than mine. I was in probably about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe. I'm not really sure because that's been so long ago. I never imagined that I'd be telling my story on YouTube, to be honest with you. The lady that interviewed me came up to me and she said, we want to ask you something, but we don't want it to be an insult. I don't know any other way to bring it up other than to just ask you. And I said, of course, tell me anything. Now, by this time, she and I had begun such a wonderful relationship that it didn't matter what she had to ask me. I was all for listening and hearing her out and giving her my opinion because I legit thought she was going to ask me something about the dorms or something, or trying to figure out what she should do about a certain situation or something to that nature. I never in my wildest dream felt that she was going to ask me what she asked me. What did she ask me? She asked me if I would be interested in coming on to work at the university as a university employee. Of course, my first thought was, what on earth could I do here? I don't have a college education. And I'll be honest with you, I in my brain thought that every person that worked in a college had to have a college education. To my surprise, there are a few of us uneducated, and I mean that in a funny way, people that work at universities. I looked at her. I was in disbelief. Dean of Students' son said to me, I told my dad about you. He is really eager to meet you. He wants to see what you could bring to the university. and we have several positions that are going to be open, but there's one in specific that's opening up. I came home, I told my husband about it. So he was like, well, go for it. I'm still thinking, why is this happening to me? One of the down factors about this job was the salary was going to be basically half of what I was used to making in the professional career that I had. Can I do this? Can I pull this off? And I'm going to a place that I feel like I might be a fish out of water. I still had it in my head that I was going to be amongst a lot of people that were going to look down on me and make me feel some type of way because I wasn't quote unquote equal to them. I was on the fence about it. They're probably not going to want me. They're not going to want to offer me a job. I can go ahead and go with the interview. I walk into none other than the health services department of the university. Now, as I'm walking in there, I'm thinking to myself, I know I won't get through this interview because the world that I came from is basically opposite of a health services of any sort. I know nothing about anything medical. There's no way they're going to want me to do this job. The interview was one of the best interviews that I'd ever gone on in my life. I sat before the head nurse and another nurse as they asked me all kinds of questions. I was very honest in saying, hey, I know nothing about health services. I don't know nothing about medical anything. For some reason, and person A and person B felt like I would be great here in this university. And this is the position that they said that they had open to get me in as quick as they could possibly get me into their system. We kind of laughed about it. We talked about salary. We talked about why would I want to come to a job like this that I'd be making less than. And of course, the only answer I knew that I could give was, I really don't know. I know that I'm burnt out from the career field that I was in. I needed a break. I needed a change. And I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to give it everything that I've got. I'm not going to lie and say that the salary don't shake me up a little bit. I made it through the first phase of the interview process, and now I was going on to the second phase. The second phase meant that I was going to interview with the dean of students. I'm putting in quotations, uneducated person, because so many people, and I have been told that by people. So when I say this, I say it with great pride that I am a very educated, quote unquote, uneducated person. I'm walking into a dean of students office in a university. This is not happening to me. And I remember as I was walking in there, I said, God, you really, really need to explain this one to me because I am in a land of the unknown. I have no idea what to expect. There's nothing that's adding up here, or so I thought. So the interview went better than one would have expected. He was a very easygoing man. He was very friendly, very open, very honest. I leave out of there and I came home. I told my husband, I said, it really went well. Like, I can't really say anything negative about the interview. But again, I still couldn't put all of this together. I couldn't figure out God's plan. I could not figure out for the life of me why I am here. Several days passed. I got a phone call saying I made it through phase number 2, and now I'm at the point of background checks and that they would be letting me know if they could offer me the position within the next few days. Now, mind you, because I'm going through so many changes, I'd also interviewed with a company that was in the career field that I had left my main career field for because I felt like this is just not going to work out. And I was a little bit afraid of not at least giving a try going back into the career field that I went in. Well, I would be making more money, but I also would have a lot more on my plate. It was a little bit intimidating, but the pay was so tempting. In my mind, I thought it would be worth it. The interview with that company did go quite well. What happens if the university called me? What happens if this company called me? A couple of days had gone by. I hadn't heard anything from the university. That felt like I wasn't going to get that phone call from them. I felt like they probably chose someone else because I do know that one of the candidates that were up for the position did have experience in the medical field. Pretty much saying to myself, I know I'm not going to get the job, but it's okay because I got this other job over here on the side. So this particular night, as I laid down for bed, I started to pray to God. I said, God, I don't know what you have in store for me. I feel like my whole world has changed. It's out of control. I don't have a grip on anything that's happening to me. Strange things are happening. I'm meeting strange people. I'm entering into a world that I have no idea how I got here. I interviewed for a job that will pay me way more than I had expected. But this job would be so demanding. It would ask so much of me. And there's a part of me that want it and there's a part of me that don't. Then I've interviewed at a university, which is a place that I never thought I would be. They pretty much are at the final stages where they too will be offering me a job. Why am I here, God? I don't understand. My gut tells me to go in the position of the career field that I know, but my heart is pulling me towards I want the university to call me. At that point, I said, whoever calls me first, I will go. I will know that that is where you want me to be. I woke up that morning. I went to the temp agency, which was the position on the other side of campus, started my day, and I got a phone call. The phone call was from the university. I was being offered a full time position in health services at the university. That concludes episode 3. I hope that you stick around for episode 4. Episode 4 will be uploaded on Saturday, a week from today. Fingers crossed that everything goes as planned. If you haven't watched episodes 1 or 2, I do encourage you to go back and watch them from the beginning. I think it'll all make sense to you if you watch them in sequential order. I am literally telling the story of from my childhood. I'm bringing you into how God moved throughout my life over a period of time, and all of this was in preparation to build my strength, to build the person that I needed to be to get me through the hardest things that I'd ever gone through. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. To leave comments in the comment section. Ask any questions that I may can answer going forward. I do hope to see you soon in episode 4. See you soon. Bye-bye.